Truck stops come with their assortment of stereotypes, whether it's the lot lizards that linger at night, the greasy diner food, or maybe just that gritty atmosphere of the other truckers being around. Whether you've ever been to a truck stop or not, you'll enjoy this video because I'm going to take you all across the country and read some funny 1-star Google reviews from a few different truck stops. You'll laugh, you'll learn something, and maybe we'll become friends by the end of the video. Shout out to Super Jet Freak Darth Jen for this suggestion. Leave any suggestions down below and consider joining my channel memberships and subscribing for more videos. Alright, I'm Jeff. Leave a like for the algorithm, it really helps a lot. Alright, let's get into those reviews. And for that first review, we're going to go to Houston, Texas and visit a Love's truck stop. This is a Love's and Arby's combo with like a truck-in area in the back, and it has a 3.0 rating on 502 reviews. Love's was founded in 1964 by Tom and Judy Love, and now there are over 600 locations in the United States. So let's go dive into this one. The first review from Love's comes from Melv. Warning, warning. Do not come here. They will steal from you. There is no security in parking lot. The store inside is clean. They have an Arby's restaurant, all good. I give this place 1 star. Due to that, Love Security will not step foot in semi-parking lot. Rogue addicts, bums, thieves roam around the parking lot all day and night, beating on doors of semis looking to see what they can steal. You will not get any rest here. They break into your vehicle when you step out. Talk to the manager, they will not do anything about it. You are on your own. Well, after that review, I can understand why this place only has a 3.0 rating. It sounds very unsafe and very unsettling to stay somewhere where people are roaming around pulling on your doors all night. Ugh. It's like when you're camping and you hear a noise, but instead of an animal like a bear, it's just Dirty Mike and the boys.
Well, we're not participating in that. We have no interest.
Let me rephrase it. We got a jar of old mustard, and we got a poodle, and we're just gonna get in there and we're gonna put some D's in some A's.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
How you know who we are?
You left a note in that car.
The movie The Other Guys, an American classic. Let's move on to H's review. Be ready to waste your time. They don't want to clean the shower. I've been waiting from the morning and now is 3:23 p.m. and shower is still unavailable. The worst Loves in the us. I feel like taking a hot shower is probably a top priority for most truckers after they've been on the road all day. So if you had to wait hours for a shower to be available, I'd be super frustrated and I'd be thinking about going to a different truck stop. Just clean the showers. Let's see if Cody had a better Love's experience. Loves in general aren't pilot car friendlies like pilots, but this one is particularly bad. On a completely separate note, washing your feet in a public sink is a bad idea. Not only are you taking all the germs that are on that surface back to your truck literally into the sleeper with you, it's a hard thing to walk in and see. I didn't say nothing at the time, but that's nasty. So a couple of things about Cody's review. 1. What is a pilot car? What do they mean by that? Or do they just have pilot on the mind? And also, the washing the feet in the public sink, maybe it's because the showers take hours and hours to be available and the person just has real stinky feet. But I do agree, that is nasty. But I do have to say that I, Jeff, have done something similar to that before, but it wasn't my feet. When I was in like 4th or 5th grade after recess, my armpits were real stinky. So I went to the bathroom and got a couple paper towels wet and got some soap on them, and I went into the stall and cleaned my armpits. I'll never forget that, and now I just told the internet that. But let's move on and read Rob's review.
Beware.
I was robbed here while sleeping. I had my chains and binders stolen. There is a pawn shop right down the street that takes the stolen goods from trucks and resells it. The police did nothing. The manager and staff at Love's did nothing. They said this happens every night. There are crackheads all over their lot with people looking for no good. It's extremely dangerous. Do not stay here. They stole more than $4,200 worth of trucking supplies and did it so quiet I didn't even wake up. This is a scary / very dangerous place with 0 security cameras to protect people. Well, there is some irony in someone named Rob getting robbed, but that doesn't make it any better. The fact that they did it so quietly that they didn't wake up and also sold it to a pawn shop down the street, and it seems like Rob figured that part out and the police did nothing. What's going on here? What sort of racket is this place? Let's see what happened to make Jacob leave his 1-star review.
Worst Loves ever.
People walk in the parking lot all day and night, knocking on truck doors, selling things, and asking for money. Then you go inside the store to be harassed by TVC salesmen trying to sell you lawyer coverage, and they don't take no for an answer. Drivers create their own parking spots, blocking other drivers from leaving or backing. Trash cans are always full, and I watch people bringing their trash from home in cars and filling up several cans. I really want to know what those people are trying to sell in the middle of the night to these truck drivers when they're knocking on the doors to sell quote-unquote things. What are those things? What sort of stuff do you think those truck stop urchins were trying to sell? Let me know, and while you do that, I'll read Trey's review. The men's restrooms are filthy and disgusting, with grime on the walls and floor. This location is the dirtiest loves I've seen in my 3 years of OTR driving. The truckers spend too much money to have to use unsanitary restrooms and showers with low water pressure and employees with bad attitudes. This location needs to be renovated and retraining for all employees. Well, that review really sums up this Loves and reinforces why it has a 3.0 rating. It's filthy and disgusting, employees have bad attitudes, and low water pressure? Oh, I don't think this Loves was any good at all. What did you guys think? And while you let me know, we'll go to the next truck stop. Our next stop takes us to the middle of the Midwest to Edgerton, Kansas to visit a TA Express. This place has a big area for trucks in the back and a bunch of diesel stalls, and it has a 3.0 rating on 1,935 reviews. TA Express is a new, smaller travel center concept that is operated by the Travel Centers of America. And it was founded in 2018 with only 4 locations. So let's go dive into this Kansas location. We'll get the TA Express started with Andrea's review, which also comes with a picture. There is only one microwave inside with smelly burned melted parts. Staff knows, they say it's okay to use. Equals 1 star. BTW, there is no free parking here. Paid $15 for bobtail. And I'll enlarge that picture of that smelly microwave, and you can even tell from the picture that that microwave is pretty stinky. There used to be a guy I worked with that would reheat leftovers in the microwave all the time, and he really liked spicy food and fish, so sometimes that microwave would smell so bad I wouldn't want to make anything in it or warm any of my food up in it. Oh, just Jeff sneaking in here real quick. I want to give a quick shout out to the Super Jeff Freaks, Darth, Jen, Jawara Hall, Steven, and Jake. Thank you so much for your extra support, but if you want to help me out, you can just leave a like and subscribe to join the Jeff Freaks. Alright, back to the video. With that microwave story out of the way, let's move on to Vincent's review. When you first pull up, the building looks great and the parking lot was clean. But once you open the door, the smell lets you know you don't want to eat, shower, or even get a cup of coffee in this place. I don't have a problem with the $15 parking fee, but there is no food other than pre-packaged. The coffee was out of service, and I couldn't get past the smell. So it's a bit of a polished turd, you could say. Looks kinda shiny from the outside, but the inside's all crap. And you couldn't even get coffee if you wanted to. Not that you'd want to in this place because of the smell. Now let's move on to Moses' review, which has 2 pictures. No! Free parking. Showers are terrible. They have a driver's lounge, if that's what you want to call it. After looking at the carpet, I sure as hell wasn't going to sit on couch. This is one of the worst TAs I have been to. I'll enlarge both pictures for you guys, and as you can see, it is very, very disgusting. The couch has like a layer of grime on it. The carpet has like 7 different shades of dark stains on it, a bunch of burn holes or something. This place looks just disgusting. The smell. Ah, it looks like we're being haunted by the smell. Let's read King Tut's review and hopefully we can cleanse ourselves. Worst travel stop ever, -0 stars. Whole lot is paid parking and bathrooms are horrible. Broken down, water all over the floors because there's a pipe ruptured somewhere. SMFH. And on top of that,
they told me no towels for my showers. Drivers of the Brotherhood, do not stop here unless you really have to. Safe travels.
I love giving it a rating of -0 stars. What is -0? Also, not providing towels. I've never gone to a truck stop or showered at one or anything, but I feel like towels should be provided, right? Let me know if you know. It also looks like we may have escaped
The smell.
Hopefully we did, and let's move on and read Esther's review, which comes with a picture. Our sandwich was made with moldy bread. Enough said. Picture of the receipt to prove we bought it here. And you can see from the picture there's a nice bluish green spot of mold on the bread, so they definitely weren't lying. Maybe they need to bring in Gordon Ramsay to explain why mold isn't good.
Seriously? Why throw my lemons like that for? Why are you taking my product and you're molding you? Hey, look. Okay, want to see some more? Stay there.
Unfortunately, I highly doubt Gordon Ramsay's ever going to come to this Kansas truck stop. So let's move on and read Ranjo's review. I'm Ultra One Platinum, loyal to the TA/Petro chain. I will never stop at this location again, even though it's the closest store to where I live. I showed I have 12 free drinks on my app, but I was told I have to use my points for a drink because their Ultra One machine was down. That's not my problem.
I lost it.
And left. I'm not too sure what an Ultra One Platinum is because I'm just Jeff, but I assume it's some sort of like upper tier to the rewards program. And since their machine was down, Ranjo couldn't get their free drink, lost his mind, and left the store. Hopefully Ranjo isn't driving a semi-truck, and hopefully they have more patience on the road than they do inside getting a free drink. So what'd you guys think about that TA Travel Center truck stop? Let me know and let's go to the next one. For our next truck stop, we're going to move away from these chains and go to more of a locally owned one in the Wilton Travel Center in Gansevoort, New York. As you can see from the Google Maps view, it kind of looks like a truck stop you see in like an 80s action movie, and it has a 4.2 rating on 1,122 reviews. There's not too much info out there about when this place started, but it is an independently owned truck stop, so that's pretty cool. Let's go read those reviews. First up for the Wilton Travel Plaza is Shamma, not to be confused with the ShamWow.
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll be saying wow every time you use this towel.
Truly deserves 0 stars. Our church bus parked there briefly due to a blowout tire. They were the closest rest stop as we were waiting for a tow truck. They were so bothered by our presence and said we couldn't be their store. Mind you, we were buying. They even went as far as locking their restrooms. We couldn't be by our bus. We literally couldn't be anywhere. The worst was they sent some guy in a green car to ask us to leave. Let me remind y'all, we have a blowout tire. Very racist, very insensitive, very inconsiderate. 0 out of 10. Boo! Even if a truck stop has a no bus policy, they should still be okay with a bus waiting for a tow there. I mean, what else is the bus supposed to do? Block traffic? I'm a little confused by that. And why would they prevent the people from the bus buying stuff and using the bathrooms? This one's a little confusing. What a great start. The next review comes from Carrie.
Really bad.
I overfilled a chili cup and tried to sip a little
After.
buying it so I could put the lid on. Cashier saw me pay for it too full and kicks me out when I try to put the lid on. All I wanted to do is keep it from dripping on the floor. First bad truck stop all year. What a dump. Little did Carrie know, if you sip chili inside of a store after you buy it, you go straight to jail. No, I'm just kidding. That is such a strange reason to be kicked out. Just a weird power trip by the cashier, I guess? Let's move on to the next review and read what happened to A. Park at your own risk because they don't have cameras, and if someone damages your truck, you are on your own. Drivers will hit your truck and drive off like nothing happened. If I were able to give this place 0 stars, I would. And it's my last time coming here and doing business with them. I'm a little surprised that this truck stop doesn't have cameras, but it is kind of like an older style truck stop. It's not like one of those big chains. And how many times did this happen to A? The next review comes from Dan, and he has a picture that'll shed some more light into Shamma's review. So they don't allow buses?
BTW.
The plural of
Buzz.
is spelled buses, not
Booses.
They can't even get that right. Well, not only do I drive a bus, but I also have a car and occasionally drive trucks.
And you can bet I'll avoid this dump like the plague no matter what I'm driving.
And you can see from Dan's picture, no booses allowed. B-U-S-S-E-S, which is spelled wrong. So maybe that's why they were so hostile to Shamma and their crew on their church bus earlier. Man, this truck stop is just weird. Let's keep reading. The next review comes from Chris. Restaurant is great. Truck stop showers? Not so much. Walked in for a shower, paid $15. Lady behind the counter proceeded to ask me for my truck keys, CDL, or cash to hold as a deposit for the shower. Immediately told her to refund my $15 and I'll take my business elsewhere. No reason for them to ask to hold on to anything for a shower. What a joke. I can't imagine why they need collateral for someone to take a shower, especially a $15 shower. What's someone gonna do in there, like smear their... Never mind. We'll try to get that image out of our mind and move on and read JJ's review. Don't even real knew what was on the seafood platter. Everything was very dark. They said it was butterfly shrimp and cod and scallops, LOL, all breaded to death. But nice service from waiter. $50 was not worth a penny. No taste, period. I personally would not trust a seafood platter from a truck stop. Would you guys? And would you spend $50 on it? I don't think I could. Let me know in the comments down below and we'll go on to the next truck stop. For our next stop, we're going to head to my home state of Wisconsin to a truck stop that I've actually been to. The Flying J in Roberts, Wisconsin, off Highway I-94, south of New Richmond. Technically, I've only been to the McDonald's attached to it, and it's also the McDonald's that I found out they don't serve all-day breakfast anymore. But the Flying J Travel Center has a 3.9 rating on 1,619 reviews. Flying J was founded in 1958 by Jim Haslam Jr., and as of January of 2024, it's owned by Berkshire Hathaway Investment Group. Ugh. So with that in mind, let's go read some one-star reviews from this one. First up for this Wisconsin Flying J is Richard, which is long for dick. This place likes to call the cops on you to move your truck. If you are not parked in a spot, don't park here. They will ticket you and call the cops. Park at Quick Trip across the street, much better. Well, after reading that, I'm a little bit confused to why Richard left a one-star review. Was he parked improperly somewhere in a not designated parking spot and got upset the cops were called? Let's move on and read what happened to Nick. Flying J in Roberts, Wisconsin still owes my business over $95,000 from 2 full seasons of contracted work. The manager plays dumb and corporate won't return calls. For any contractors out there putting bids in for that location, your pay is $0 FYI. I know if I took a piece of gum from that store, I'd be arrested. That corporate entity stole a hell of a lot of money from me. This location and Flying J as a whole is crooked and beyond greedy. Perhaps instead of leaving a 1-star Google review, Nick should look into small claims court or something to try to recoup some of his money, cause $95,000?
That's a lot of guacamole.
Let's see what happened to Seth. Ordered a bunch of stuff, including a pack of cigarettes. Lady at the counter asked me if I wanted everything in a bag, and I said yes. She left the cigarettes out, and I walked out without them. I called to tell them that they didn't give me my cigarettes, and the manager, instead of offering any form of apology, take the
"what do you want me to do about it?"
approach. I asked for the name of her manager, and she wouldn't give it to me. I asked for her name, and she hung the phone up on me. It was one thing that there was no coffee at midnight at a truck stop, but apparently their customer service is even worse. I feel like what happened to Seth has happened to most people watching this video, where you went to a store and bought something, you left and you realize you either left a bag behind or a product behind. Most of the time if you call or go back in, it's not a big deal, but this place made it a big deal. The next Flying J review comes from Scott, and it's his only review from 9 years ago. I think I have shirts that are older than 9 years though. Uh-oh. Forced to go inside and get approval before pumping any gas. Also had to tell the cashier how much gas I was going to get ahead of time. How do I know?
I wanted to fill it up.
Was in a hurry and took an extra 10 minutes. Have never had to do this
Anywhere.
before. Why is this place so mistrustful? Customer services was terrible. Management and cashier didn't care about what the experience was like. Won't ever stop there again. That is pretty strange that Scott had to go inside and get approval before pumping gas. This is not like in a city or anything, it's right off I-94 outside of the Twin Cities, so a bit strange. Or maybe it was some sort of temporary measure. I'm not too sure, but what I do know is that the next review comes from David. This place rudely woke me up in the middle of my break to force me to move my truck. I will never give them 1 penny ever again. Pilot/Flying J, avoid at all cost. Everyone at this location was very rude. There is no red or yellow paint on curb, also no sign saying,
No parking.
So if you guys didn't know, truck drivers are required to take a mandatory break, so they don't get fatigued behind the wheel and crash their giant trucks into people. So if you're woken up during that break, that could be very dangerous and very annoying if you're a truck driver and nothing is painted correctly. Our next review comes from Kate. Why is there always creepy vans that are always there? I always feel uncomfortable and scared for my life going to this location. People have been kidnapped from this location, and I have had men stalking me and gawking at me while I'm there every time. I really hope that's not true about the people being kidnapped from this location, because something should have been done about that. I also have a quick story about someone being accused of being in a creeper van. I had a friend that was like a district manager of like a landscaping company, and they had these old vans and they were doing some stuff in this neighborhood, and the vans weren't really clearly marked because they were their older vans, and the vans made their rounds around different Facebook groups accusing them of being creeper vans when it was just a guy mowing lawns and spraying it for weeds. So who knows? Hopefully Kate's just being paranoid? What do you guys think? And what do you think about this Flying J? Let me know and let's go to the next truck stop. We're gonna head way out west to Carlin, Nevada to visit the 19 Travel Center, which has a 3.9 rating on 6,750 reviews. Bit of a smaller truck stop with a subway inside. These 19 truck stops are part of the Pilot Flying J family. So with that in mind, let's go read some 1-star reviews from this one. First review for the 19 travel stop comes from Jeffrey. That's my name in the long form. I have been driving
Big trucks.
for a few years now. I went today for lunch at Subway. The girl making my sandwich was either very illiterate or had no idea what she was doing. My sandwich was way too big, and I was charged for double meat when I didn't ask for it. It was toasted way too long, and then the manager was very prude when I started asking questions. Worst truck stop on the interstate.
Do not eat here.
Well, I'll try not to be too biased since it is a fellow Jeffrey out there, shout out to this Jeffrey, but I feel like he is very just in his 1-star review. If I had a sandwich that was too big, got charged double meat, and they burned it to a crisp, I'd be very annoyed, especially if I brought it up to the manager and the manager was prude about it. Now that's just rubbing salt into the wound. Well, the first review from my boy Jeffrey was about the Subway. Let's see what Brady's review's about. I went to go use the bathroom and I didn't see any signs saying the bathroom is closed for cleaning. I walk into the handicap stall because the other ones were being used, and the cleaning guy got in my face and looked at me and said,
Are you kidding me? I'm cleaning here.
He's lucky I didn't throat punch him. I walked out of Pilot in tears. Well, here's another time where I can relate to the person leaving a review. There was one time in high school where I was having lower intestinal problems, and I was in the bathroom, and the person came into the bathroom and was like, is anyone in here? I need to clean. And I was like mid-session, and I was like, yep, I'm in here, sorry. Because I was like cramping up so bad. So that was pretty embarrassing. I didn't leave in tears because the person didn't get in my face. They said, okay, I'll come back in a minute or something like that. But yeah, that really does stink. Let's move on from the bathroom stories and read Paxton's review. I'm a professional driver and I depend on truck stops, but I have an issue of where I stand inside of the store for over an hour waiting patiently for a shower just to finally get announced that my shower is ready. Well, guess what? Find out the system is down, and all are willing to do is refund my shower after clearly seeing me stand there for more than an hour and tell me that I can't take a shower there. That's BS. Another 1-star review that would have been completely avoided with just a slight bit of communication. That goes to show you, if you communicate with people, things usually go smoother. That advice works in all aspects of life. Communication is key. But let's move on and read Google users review. Bathrooms trashed and dirty. Stopped to get a sandwich at the Subway and watched a lady making my sandwich use her gloved hands to open all kinds of knobs, handles, and doors while trying to make my sandwich, and then handle the meats and cheeses. That is not okay. I know she was trying to be helpful to her coworker, all while talking about the problems the store manager was having with their sandwich shop. Gross. Do not shop here. Another review about the Subway, and yeah, this Subway seems like a lower tiered Subway, but it's part of the same travel center, so it's going to be affecting all the truck drivers and all the people just passing by. And I do agree, all of that stuff is pretty gross. And so is Subway. Well, maybe Subway isn't gross, but I don't know, that bread just is so sweet to me, it makes my stomach just hurt. But anyways, let's read Stefan's review. Or is it Steven? I was informed that the showers are not currently available due to low water pressure, but the bathrooms worked perfectly fine. For example, all the toilets flush without any issue, and there is water pressure when you run all the sinks at the same time. Now, they only have 3 showers available at this location, and you are not able to use your Pilots app on your smartphone to reserve one. So the cashiers at the fuel desk act like gatekeepers, which means you have to take their word for it. Very disappointed. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like truck stop showers are kind of like McFlurry machines. Are they broken, or does someone not want to clean it? And it feels like one of those two are always true. I could be completely wrong, so let me know what you think and I'll read Enrique's review.
We're going to play good D and lots of small ball, and we're going to win because the whole season we did what?
Believe to the team!
Yeah! Hey, I believe, hey! We'll win because our Lord Jesus Christ shows us to win!
Okay, Enrique.
Alright, I can't think of the name Enrique without thinking of that King of the Hill clip, so now I'll read the review. I requested to exchange a CB antenna due to malfunction. I did Spock with the cashier and he was available. Unfortunately, Sarah, the manager assistant, wasn't. She brings out excuses. Such a policy store which is not true. She is just racist. 'Cause not white, no service. Well, that review is a lot less fun than that King of the Hill clip. I really hope that they aren't racist, but it doesn't sound too good. I feel bad for Enrique. So what'd you guys think about this truck stop? Let me know if you want to, and let's go to the next one. Our next stop takes us to Florida, to Jacksonville, Florida, to visit a Pilot Travel Center, which is cut from the same cloth as a Flying J. Both are started by Jimmy Haslam. This location also has an Arby's inside of it, and it has a 3.8 rating on 1,892 reviews. So without further ado, let's get into one of those reviews. The first review for this Pilot Travel Center comes from Tucker the Trucker, Fee-Fi Fo Fuck.
Watch your profanity.
Right, I'm sorry.
I came in to get an interview with Howard. He was incredibly rude. Couldn't keep eye contact and turned me away from said interview due to my shorts. If you're applying or trying to get a job, just know the manager Howard
Has been doing this a long time.
and he likes to run it like the military. Just an FYI for anyone looking to get a job here. Unfortunately, I feel like the biggest mistake that Tucker made was wearing shorts to the job interview. I get that it's Florida, but you still should wear pants, man. Next up for this pilot is Daniel. This pilot allows predatory towing of trucks. They don't just allow it, they assist. Troy's Towing will be happy to come steal from you at this location. The pilot manager and fake security are in on the scam. Troy's damaged my truck during their illegal tow. They also damaged my load. The truck had over $3,000 in damage and the load had over $6,000 in damage. As if it's not hard enough out here, this Pilot truck stop is actively assisting a tow company to steal from truck drivers.
Disgraceful.
Predatory towing is one of those things that just makes my skin crawl. These little backdoor deals and stuff happen more often than we probably think, and it's very, very annoying and very disgusting, especially if they're out here damaging people's trucks and people that are on timelines. Oh man, that just makes me so mad. Ooh, Alright, I calm down now. At least enough to read Get You's review. I paid for parking and went to the restaurant to get some food. When I came back, they towed my trailer and they didn't care about you. They look like ignorance. Old racist. Nonsense. They would hostage me for 2 days, nobody not talk to you, even police. They need to learn how to treat customers. Instead, they humiliated us. Well, some of that didn't make much sense to me, but the part I did get is that Get You was another victim to the predatory towing. I am not happy again, I'm getting angry. Let's move on and read Walt's review. Is he another victim to this towing company? Can't believe there are no free spots here. You pay for fuel, pay for meals, and pay for parking. Surprised you don't have to put a quarter in the door for the toilet. I'll never come to this pilot ever again. I may get fuel if I have to, but only up to 50 gallons, but I'll park elsewhere.
Berkshire Hathaway greed at its finest.
Well, I understand paying for fuel and paying for meals and perhaps paying for parking. All of that stuff kind of makes sense, especially if it is reserved parking. I mean, you have to pay for meals, right? Is that not a norm? Let me know if you know. And next review comes from CN. Nephew was absolutely rude and unfriendly at the front desk. I asked if I could park and take a quick 10-minute shower without blocking anyone, but she refused to allow me. On the other hand, Antony is a great manager who understands how hard truck drivers work on the road. He knows how important it is to get a 10 to 15 minute shower after a long day. His understanding means a lot to me. I give him 5 stars. We got to see 2 different sides to this truck stop, the 1-star side and the 5-star side. The 1-star side being like, nope, we can't do that, we don't care. And the 5-star side being, yeah, sure, that's fine, man, take that shower, because you know what? You just earned a lifetime customer. Let's see what happened to Billy to make him leave a 1-star review. Not sure why customer service has gotten so bad, but the people who work for Pilot have no knowledge or care about a driver and time management. We sit here for no reason for a half an hour. The showers was ready, and I don't know where the guy came from who tends to them, but he came from somewhere and reset the shower so we could finally know which shower to go to. Thanks for wasting my time for no reason. Oh man, 5 angry faces. I can really feel the rage coming through the screen. Can you? Let me know, and let me know how frustrated you would be if you had to wait around a half hour to take a shower. So what'd you think about this Florida pilot? And with that, you made it to the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you watched it this far, pat yourself on the back and make sure you drink some water. Watch this video on screen now if you haven't, leave a like, and until next time, I've been Jeff, and I can't wait to see you again. Goodbye.